Everyone's like, what is going on? Hello. He's like barely coming through. Look at it. Don't cover that handsome face. Put it back up. There he is coming with some. Hello. Good to see you this week.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
Dude, thanks for being on the show, man.
Absolutely.
It's going to be so much fun.
Yes.
We got a really good show coming up. I'm going to set up this thing real quick. As soon as it says it's coming in live.
Cool, man.
We're all good to go so I can see what everybody says. If it ever works. That's not going to work. Everyone knows that.
It is good work. It is.
There's a delay on it. We'll fix it. Okay.
We'll do it live.
How you doing? F it. We'll do it live. Thanks for being on the show today, man. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely.
How's the week been?
The week's been good. Yeah. Good? Yeah. Been keeping busy. But yeah, all good things.
Good.
Yeah. So I think we should have some whiskey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Caleb is an avid whiskey fan, so we have a lot in common. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me in your house. It is incredible.
Absolutely.
And you can't see, you can only see this section from the walls of your screen, but if you could be here, fountains, women walking around, respectfully, tastefully dressed. But they're good. Thank you.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Oh. That's a chef's kiss.
Yes. This is Green Spot, by the way.
Green Spot, yes. We're looking for that sponsor. If you're ever thirsty, Green Spot.
Have a Green Spot.
Have a Green Spot. Man, incredible. Caleb, let me first off start off with how I met Caleb. One time, Caleb came into Sozo's an open mic night, and he started singing. It was some John Mayer stuff, and I was like, I kind of hate you a little bit. I wish I could wear your face. It was incredible. He was so good. I was so blown away. There's a lot of talent that comes through there, but that one specifically stuck out to me. And I was like, man, I want to get to know this guy. And for some reason, I think I said like, good job, but we didn't get to sit and talk. And then we played a show with Aaron Shea.
Yes.
Lovely, long time friend of the show, Aaron. And we got to play in the same band together. I was like,
yes.
And I got to see that it wasn't just two songs. This guy can play. You're incredible. Incredible. What a guy. That's how we got to meet. And then recently we started collaborating on a song. And it has been so much fun.
It's been so much fun.
I loved it. Yeah, get out of town. I really appreciate you asking me, and it's been such a good time. When did you start playing?
Oh man, so I started playing drums when I was in about 4th grade.
Okay.
And before that, I took piano lessons.
Okay.
So I guess that was my first.
First thing.
Yeah.
When you're 4th grade, I was homeschooled, so 4th grade for me was like 20 probably.
Okay.
Sorry, mom and dad. That's not good. My mom and dad, very smart, very disciplined. I didn't do okay.
I was like, wait,
how old are you at 4th grade?
Oh man, I don't know how old are 4th graders? Oh man, I don't know. Whatever age 4th graders are.
I don't know where this thing is going. It's still not coming up. I know that you're there. I wonder if let me double check, make sure there's one thing going. Okay, so you started taking piano lessons 4th grade.
Yeah. Well, I think it was before that even. I just have vague memories of practicing piano. And then I was like, man, I really want to play something else. And then I started playing drums, and I wasn't allowed to get a drum set until I practiced playing drums.
Okay.
Which, like, how do you do
that chicken egg kind of thing going on?
Exactly. So I got a practice pad and just started practicing, and then I started taking drum lessons. And for Christmas, I got a drum set.
No way!
It's awesome.
Did they surprise you, or did you know it was coming?
No. It was a surprise.
So it came in as a surprise. What a great Christmas!
Oh, awesome!
How old were you then?
I think that was right around 4th grade.
The 4th grade. We're still not good.
We're still in 4th grade.
We're still in 4th grade.
Yeah. And so I played drums. That was like my main thing, and then I was like, man, I think I could play guitar. and this was like 8th grade.
So just a couple years later,
yeah. And also like, who was getting the girls? It was guitar players.
Guitar players. Yeah. Man. You can't carry a drum set around. What are you thinking?
Exactly.
What are you thinking?
So, yeah, man, I was like, man, I want to start playing guitar. And so, I grew up playing music in church. And so that was kind of where I was able to really practice musicianship and playing with other people. And I'm really like fortunate to have had that experience, because a lot of people, when they're growing up, the only place they can go like play is maybe like an open mic night, or if they have one around the area. Or, you know, there's probably a few other ways I could do it, but open mic night is kind of the thing that stands out to me. But yeah, other than that, it was like church was like you could play almost every weekend, and really just get used to being like in an environment where you're like on stage, playing in front of people.
Getting used to
get rid of those stage nerves.
Yes,
and it's really important for people to do that. You know.
Do you still get pretty nervous up on stage, or you seem confident to me?
I feel like I feel a little bit more comfortable on stage than off.
Okay.
And
what? No, I don't.
Yeah.
You charming son of a great lady. There we go. Yeah. Whoa, that was a good save. Dang. Sorry, Mom. Jeez. I have 3 viewers. One of them my mom, and you got. Okay.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, Mom. This guy's great. This guy's great. You guys, Mom and Dad, they would love you. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
So yeah, I mean, in going to like concerts and stuff, I'm always like, man, I wish I was just like on.
I want to be up on stage.
Yeah, I feel uncomfortable because like I don't have an instrument, and like they do, they're playing something.
You gotta switch it up. Yeah.
And I feel comfortable on stage, and I think it's because I had all of that exposure when I was younger, and it just made me comfortable.
And doing some other things. Do you feel like learning drums before helps you with rhythm and understanding the instrument maybe a little bit different?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So in playing a drum set, you know, you kind of have to separate your limbs. Like
I can't do it. Before it's crazy, man. I can't imagine. Yeah. It just blows my mind.
You got your foot going, you got your hands doing something else. Of course, it's all within, you know, the same time signature and rhythm.
Yeah. But if you're just asking for, to me, it's you're asking too much of me.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Well, yeah.
I have a hard time walking and talking at the same time. I trip all the time.
It's like Family Guy walking and chewing.
Yeah, okay, keep following. That's a good one. What did you gravitate when you started? Was that? I'm sorry. What kind of music did you gravitate towards?
So, I mean, when I was really young, my family listened to a lot of like Christian music.
Okay.
So like worship music was a big one. And then kind of getting involved with my youth group and stuff at church. We listen to bands like Reliant K and like Switchfoot, and like kind of like the alt rock scene.
Yeah, I like those guys a lot.
Yeah. And eventually I had some friends who liked Blink-182, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is it. This is my band.
That's great, man.
And so yeah, man, all through probably like middle school and high school, like that was kind of the music that I listened to. It was like Blink-182, Yellow Card, Little Green Day,
nice.
Man, My Chemical Romance.
Oh my gosh, don't get me started.
You can go through a whole playlist of goodies.
I love
man.
My Chemical Romance. I love all those groups, but
yeah.
I was talking with a couple different buddies, and there's definitely like a sound that came like vocally. Who do you think was like the first that started that way? There were a couple arguments for Green Day being like that kind of vocal tone and everything.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Green Day is a good candidate for that.
If you think about like the grunge scene, you had like Eddie Vedder and Chris Cornell and Kurt Cobain. Yeah. That kind of like a lot of people started to emulate that. Do you think there's somebody that specifically from that alt rock, punk, pop kind of scene that like you're like that guy, and then everybody tried to emulate that?
Man, I honestly think Green Day really paved the way for that.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. And also Hawthorne Heights and Fall Out Boy.
I forgot about Hawthorne Heights. I like Fall Out Boy a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite album by them?
No, not really. I wasn't like a huge fan of them,
Mm-hmm.
but like I really liked a lot of their like hit songs and stuff.
Dance Dance.
Yeah.
To this day.
Dance Dance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's great.
I would say in the Fall Out Boy era, I was more into like Panic at the Disco.
Okay.
Because there was like Fall Out Boy and Panic at the
They
Disco.
kind of helped discover, from what I remember. I could be wrong about that. Or they helped like pick them up at the very least. Panic.
Yeah, I don't know about that actually.
Okay. Let's check the records.
Check the record.
The fact checker's out today.
Yeah.
COVID, real bad. Oh, she's back.
oh,
You're not
okay.
supposed to be here with COVID. Get out of here. You're making me look dumb.
Oh
my gosh.
I mean, I think a lot of those bands really like boosted each other up.
I think you're right.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
They had a cool scene going
Yeah.
on back then too.
Yeah, there was a cool scene.
Patrick from Fall Out Boy kind of is another one of those guys that kind of had like that sound that a lot of guys. He came out and a lot of people tried to sound like him, but he did it really well, and a lot of people did not do it as well. A lot of belting from him specifically, a lot too, and he can wail like he can sing falsetto and a bunch of other techniques, but it seems like he just cranks out that one. I told you when I sent you all those questions, we were never going to stick to any of that stuff anyways.
All good.
There we go.
Yeah. You know the funny thing about that though is like, you know, you hear these songs and you hear these singers sing a certain way, but then like, it's funny how like sometimes we don't realize that these guys like are actually really good at just singing in general. So like you may hear you know, Patrick, you know, belt and stuff, and then you hear him play like a softer song and he still sounds good.
You're like,
and like
what the heck?
yeah, and it's just funny how they kind of have like a certain sound that they put out and like that's their public image.
But they can do a lot of other stuff, and that's what makes you a good artist.
And a great example of that is Lady Gaga.
Oh, that is a really good point.
Yeah,
yes.
her first stuff coming out is like, you know, interesting. You know, not my favorite, but then she had this video where she like played piano and sang, and it was like so good.
You just went, one of those things. Like the first time I heard Caleb sing.
Oh gosh! Oh stop! You stop!
Incredible. It was one of those movie moments where you're like, I turned around like, what is going on? Let's talk about how did you learn to sing? Where did you learn to sing?
Oh man, I never really had like any formal like training.
Okay.
I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna pull from like emotion. That's how I'm gonna sing.
You have your own voice and coming from this, but
there
weren't any lessons, right?
No, there weren't any lessons. I mean, so my mom's a singer. My sisters both sing. My mom is a little bit more trained in the vocal arts, so she's shown me a few things over the years. But yeah, I really, I mean, again, it comes back to like playing in a worship band where they gave me a platform to like, you know, sing and like lead the songs, and like when you're playing in front of people, like sometimes people will be honest with you and be like, hey man, you could have done better. They're like, man, that was awesome, but like your voice,
you gotta work on this.
You gotta work on that. Yeah.
It's hard to hear that though from somebody, you know. It's hard to come in and be like, man, this sounds. You need to improve with this, or maybe try doing this. So really tapping into that's tough, and then listening to it.
Yeah,
it takes a couple weeks after you're told to be like, okay, maybe they're right. Maybe I can get better at this.
Man, and that's a good point you bring up. Like, I feel like I didn't progress. Like I didn't get to the next stage of my like musicianship until I started recording myself. Okay. And listening back, and like I think so many people sort of miss this, because like when you're playing and singing, especially in local venues, when you're not as famous, local venues like go to those venues for that like local music, and so very forgiving. So when you're playing open mic nights or things like that, I mean a lot of times people will be like, yeah man, that was really good, they don't know you, so
no, they're not gonna come and destroy you.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think sometimes people maybe let that go to their head a little bit.
I get that.
If that's fair, and then never like break that seal to be like objective to themselves.
Yeah, you're right.
So you record yourself and be like, oh man, like I thought I was singing.
I thought I was singing on key, but I'm really off when I do that.
Yeah, and then you take that and you just improve upon it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a much softer way to like critique yourself.
Yes.
Because it's not somebody else voicing their opinion on you. Like
coming in.
Yeah, you're doing it yourself.
Yeah.
And you know how you take criticism, so you can give yourself criticism in a way. But like,
it's important to come in with a loving touch to yourself as well,
right?
And just go, I want. This is important to me. I want to get better at that. I completely agree. Recording is the best way to improve with that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
You just started. You have a recording suit that you're putting in. It looks incredible.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I've seen parts of it changing a little bit here and there, but it's looking good, and that's incredible. Have you? Do you have any background with recording or engineering? Anything?
Not professionally. A lot of it's just been like, I'm very much a trial and error guy.
Okay.
So my day job is I'm a programmer, and all day I'm programming, and like that's trial and error. I'm like, I gotta try this, doesn't work, okay, gotta reassess. And that's kind of how the approach that I've taken with most everything in my life. And so recording has been a process of like, I recorded myself on my phone, and like that's baby steps.
Yeah.
You record yourself on your phone, listen back, maybe share it with a few people. And then you progress. And I started recording music when I was in high school, and definitely skipped some school to record some
It's
music.
on film. We got him, guys. Cut. We're out. Thanks for coming today.
Oh man. And so yeah, that's kind of how I started. And then for my 18th birthday, I went to my parents and I was like, guys, what I want for my 18th birthday is money to go record a song at a studio.
Okay.
So there's a studio around here on Country Club somewhere.
Okay.
I think it's called like Crash Course Studios. I don't know if they're around anymore.
Okay. I'm not sure.
Yeah. And so my buddy just knew of this studio, and so like I paid this guy cash, and it was like this really sketchy studio.
Oh no,
man! It looked like a house where you do some sketchy things.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So
I'll record you, sure.
Yeah. And I was like, sweet, you'll record me?
I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Yeah. Oh, it's on. That was mine. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. So I went in there, and like there's a couple dudes. I mean, they're pretty professional. They just didn't have a cool looking building. They had some cool like antique stuff in there, like music gear.
Nice.
So like I recorded a whole song, and that was my first experience with like the recording process.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love
this. Is so much fun. I'm glad that you felt that way. A lot of the first times, sometimes you come out, what am I doing?
Yeah.
That's great though.
Yeah. And I mean, it's that trial and error process. I was like, man, I've been trying, and I've been like trying and like retrying stuff, and like nothing's working really that well for me. And then I came in here, I'm like, like this is how you get like a certain sound. Like it's not just like a magic plugin.
No.
You know.
There's no Frank Ocean plugin that just makes you sound amazing.
Exactly. And then also I had no idea about like the mixing process. Like, you record stuff, and then you have to mix it to make it sound good.
Yeah. And even if you record it really well, if it's mixed poorly, it sounds terrible.
Yeah. So after that, I bought, or I didn't buy it. I inherited it from my dad. My dad is an amazing musician, and he had a bunch of recording stuff that he bought. So like we had some studio speakers. We had this old Tascam like 8-channel. Okay. Like it was digital, but like you recorded straight to like the memory inside of it. So it wasn't like an interface.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I've used something like that before.
Yeah, and there's a drum machine in there too, and like a metronome.
It's like stuck in there. I remember being like for hours like trying to export it. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, totally. And it's like it's one of those things where like you have to record and then like sort of mix a little bit, and then like run the faders up and down, and like what you see is what you get. I mean, it's very old school way of recording.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of forces you to think about what you're actually gonna record.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how the whole thing started, and like just from there, I mean, I've been saying this over and over, but trial and error is like the key to getting better, at least for a person like me.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Gotta try it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like,
figure it out. Yeah.
Yep. And then over the years, just meeting people who either work in the industry, or just have gone to school for this stuff, and like I'll take knowledge here and there, and I'm like, oh, I'll just keep that for later, and try that later.
I don't think that we can't do that, but we shouldn't use that SM57 on the vocals. Maybe it doesn't sound great. Yeah. Just pick it up here and there. That's great, man. Somebody that's starting off recording, what would you recommend?
Someone starting off recording. Yeah.
Yes. If you're like a kid and you're like, man, I really want to get into this recording scene or whatever it is.
Yeah. Just do it. Find something to record on. And like, first of all, find something to record on. Record on it. See if you like it, if you like the process. Because I mean, whether you have a multi-million-dollar studio or a $10 studio, you go through this same process of hit record. I'm gonna play my song. Crap, I messed up. Stop. Rewind.
Go back. Do
it again. And like like a simple guitar part that's easy could take, an hour and a half to record. Just because like when you go to record and you get in that performance state, the tiniest little thing in your mind can just kind of throw you off.
It does, yeah.
Sometimes it's desirable, sometimes it's not. Cause, sometimes mistakes are kind of cool. Like, oh, I kind of messed up that chord, but
that's kind of cool. I like that. Yeah, it makes it human. It's very funny how people. There's a lot of discussion in that, like, the kind of a purist mentality. How do you find yourself on that scale of purist versus just like set in stone kind of pop formula? It's got to be here and here. Where do you find yourself in that spectrum?
Yeah, if I can get a little personal with places around Arizona.
Let's go.
So I find that when I think of myself as a purist, I'm kind of being lazy.
Okay.
So like, for example, I play guitar, and I went and tried out for this church band, and like I don't think I'm a bad guitar player.
You're a great guitar player.
Thank you. But like one of the things that I struggle with is like guitar effects, like pedals and stuff, and because I've always just been I'd never had the money to buy pedals. So like I would just plug straight into the amp and like
go,
and like that's how
that's
I play.
my tone.
Yeah, and so in trying out, the guy who was watching me was like, like, do you like switch your effects ever? And I'm like, no, like I'm more of a purist and like just like the.
But it was really because if you check yourself deep down inside, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to go buy a pedal. Or I don't have the money to buy a pedal or whatever it is.
Right, exactly. So I find myself when I'm saying I'm a purist, I'm kind of being a little bit lazy. That's not the case for everyone.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I think if you're intentional with what the sound that you're looking for, 100%.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of, I'm going to keep this take because I don't want to spend the extra hour and a half perfecting this. Or like, a lack of knowledge, I feel like, or ability to punch in and engineer a process, a recording session. That's not always the case, and I have a lot of good friends that are, I would say, a purist, and you're like, they got such a cool sound and everything, and most of the time it is intentional.
Yeah,
I feel the same way. I'm happy to hear I'm not alone. It's like, oh no, that's my tone. You're like, okay, well you gotta either work on your tone or you gotta try to learn a little bit more about it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's so much, it's so fun and it can be so exciting and you can get into a lot of cool stuff. If you put the time in though, there's a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I've heard you play some cool lead licks before. Is there a way that you learned around it? Did you go with caged or pentatonic boxes? Or when you think about soloing, How do you approach?
Oh man, I don't think I'm much of a soloer. If I'm quite honest with myself, because I never really learned any of that. Like, I learned the cage system, but then I forgot it because I never like practiced it or whatever. So I think for me, a lot of like the fretboard is just like colors and shapes. So it's really hard for me to think like, like what notes do I have available, or like what's the math and like the scale that I can play. You know, a lot of it is just like, okay, I've played this kind of thing before on my own, so like I can do that here. And that kind of happens on the fly. So
the practice with the repetition. I've heard that Hendrix was the same way. He's just like, he didn't know anything about it, but he's just like all day just walked around with guitar, so he knows what he's gonna do.
Exactly. And I mean, it's sometimes it's a pretty big hindrance because like sometimes I'll hit a wall where I'm like, man, what else can I play here? Like, I don't know.
I have no idea.
And so the only way I can break down that wall is just like trying new things, or like just play random things and see if I make a mistake that sounds good. So yeah, that's kind of my approach to soloing.
Am I gonna be able to fit in this box and everything?
Yeah.
One of the first ones that I learned that I could just kind of like arpeggiate chords, I guess, would be like I was playing "Bold as Love," and it was like the John Mayer version of that song, and I was like playing a chord, and I was like, oh, I can just kind of hit these notes in there, and if I go up half a step, that sounds kind of good, but not on this string, and so you start to get used to it. It's all just muscle memory.
Yeah.
A lot of it is muscle memory, right? It just comes back into it. Actually, okay, this is a weird detour, but I was talking with my good friend Rob, and we were talking, longtime friend of the show, and we were talking about this guy. He was watching this episode of Forensic Files where this kid puts an axe in his dad's head, right?
Okay.
Multiple times. And the kid, that's not the weird, that is weird, but this is not the weird part that I'm trying to get to. The dad gets up, walks around, goes outside, gets the mail after he's been shot, is into his head, comes back, forgets he locked himself out, so he goes and gets the hideaway key, unlocks the door, makes himself breakfast, goes on doing like random tasks for 30 minutes, and then dies, right? Because he's been shot.
Yeah, okay.
What does this have to do with music? I'm tying it in right here. It all comes back to like the part of his brain that was not damaged was the part that forms habits. So he just went through life. He went through the rest of his day not thinking that, oh my gosh, I need to go to the hospital, I'm dying. He just went throughout the rest of his day. And if you can liken that to like somebody like, let's say when John Mayer plays and everything, he's formed so much habit that he doesn't have to think about what am I going to go to next. It's just like, this is just where my hand goes to all this stuff, which is crazy to think about. First off, the amount of time that you need to put into it. But maybe if we stopped approaching music as much as like a formula and just actually pick up the guitar and start playing, you start to go and form these own sounds and everything that you know, and it becomes more comfortable over that time, right? Yeah. Everybody knows most of the time after the amount of practice you need to put into playing a show or playing a song and feeling good about that thing. It's just being able to put in that actual time. Yeah. It's not some magic. It's just, I just practiced a hell of a lot. That's how we got there.
Totally. And I mean, now granted, some people are just kind of naturally a little bit more creative.
For sure.
Than others,
there we go.
That's fair to say.
Just genetics.
Stupid. I mean, there's like, the creative people and more people that live in the real world. Because we live in the clouds.
So funny. You need both.
Yeah, you need both.
You gotta have both, guys. What are you doing?
Yeah.
How do you think how is that spread out? Like, is it just genetically that some people are more creative? Is it nurture or nature? Or where do you feel like you think that lines up?
Man, I honestly think that the thing that really differs between us is like our motivation to do something. So like, I think you can take two people, no matter what their genetics are, and I think they can both be as creative as they want to be, and I think they can both be, the other side of that as they want to be. I think it just depends on like, if you're motivated to be creative, then you can be creative.
Yeah.
Like, just like if you want to be a singer, but you're tone deaf, you can still be a singer. Like, you just have to practice.
Yeah. Maybe more so than
maybe more so.
But you can still get there. I
Yeah.
guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everything is. I honestly think anybody can do anything.
I believe
It's-
that.
Yeah, it's just like, what are you motivated to do? And like, it's totally fine if you're not motivated to be creative.
Yeah. Don't beat yourself up
Right.
when you're not, like, I feel like I write about that a lot, where people are, man, I just really want this thing. You're like, obviously, I don't mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but you obviously don't want it because you're not doing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just think that you want part of that, which is totally fine, but just accept that that's the part that you want. Oh, that would be really cool. It would be really cool to be a firefighter. I've always thought that would be really cool.
Right.
I don't want to put the time in to be a firefighter.
Right.
That sounds crazy.
Exactly.
I don't want to do it, honestly. I guess that's what I'm
Sure. Yeah, totally.
I told you, I briefed you a little bit about this. I was having a discussion today. What do you think the concept of luck, how do you think that plays in people's lives? Is that a real thing? Or where's that line, I guess, in the cosmos or reality itself? Are people more lucky, some people more lucky than others? Is it like a skill?
I think, I don't know that I really believe in luck, to be honest, personally. Okay. I mean, I think, there's a phrase, you make your own luck. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I go by.
Yeah.
I think that the times that you get lucky, so let's bring it to like songwriting. Like, there were times where we stumbled across like something that sounded really cool.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh man, we luckily stumbled onto that. Yes. And like, honestly, I think it's really just because of like the things you worked on in the past and like your training or like the things that have happened in life that led you up to now. That luck may not have happened if you took a different route in life or whatever. So, I mean, I think there are times where there are like coincidences, mm-hmm. But I don't think anything like major in life is a coincidence. Yeah. I think everything is led by God, and so all of our experiences somehow have a hand, from God. Yeah. But I do think there's like little things. Maybe lucky I caught my phone before it fell. Yeah. but again, like that's still like you had the reflex to do that, so maybe that wasn't luck.
How much of it? Yeah, I don't know, man. It's I really feel like if everything with the amount of, it really comes down to like a formula of like time and chance. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like a Murphy's Law thing, like if it can happen at some point, it probably, and we're all going out these different paths, mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's got to be like what we perceive as luck for one thing might not be luck. Right. It's just like it was the chance that it's going to happen, and there's statistically less likely of a chance for this or that because you put yourself in a certain situation, intentionally or unintentionally. Totally. What really trips me out is when you start thinking about like, and this is maybe overstated, but when you start thinking about where you're born and the level that you're born at, class level that you're born at, and just crazy to take all these things into consideration. You're like, man, you already kind of feel like you won the lottery. And you think about some of those things, like, wow, that's crazy to think I could have been 1960s Russia, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or before I could have been 40s Russia with Stalin behind me, you know? Right. If you go backwards, I'm going to shoot you. You're like, what the heck? Yeah. Instead, I live a cush life in Gilbert, Arizona, where I get a lot of things thrown my way because I'm lucky that way, right? Yeah. But based off of that versus somebody else, that was, I don't know, that's just crazy to think about. Like you said, maybe there's divine intervention or something like that. Not to bring like religion to you. No, please. You bring it in here, man. Music theory and philosophy, I guess. Yeah, man. Well, we're going to touch on all those contractually obligated. It's actually time for us to bring a word from our sponsor. Green Spot.
Green Spot. Sponsor.
When you're thirsty, Green Spot.
Yeah. Yes. Can I give a little shout out on the
Please,
show?
please.
My buddy Pete. He distributes certain alcohols from different places.
No way.
At the wedding I was just at, this is one of the wine bottles that he
Dude,
was
these
able
are
to distribute.
so cool, man.
Yeah, man. And he distributes like this size. He like distributes these to like hotels. And
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Look at
and
this. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
If you'll show that, Kim, we'll show these fine folks back at home.
And
I'm
this
gonna
is
double
the.
check this thing.
It's hard. Yeah. So that's the Gilbert Tower out in downtown Gilbert, which his wife made.
Class, man.
So
Incredible.
thought I'd give my boy a shout out.
But I did see Ben's on the show. Thank you, Ben. And I saw
Sweet.
my cousin Chase also on the show. Long time friend of the show.
Awesome.
Long time friend of the show.
Perfect.
What do you feel like makes a Caleb song? What are some of the staples that make a Caleb Frieze song? How's that go?
So one thing that I would say, and this is something that I kind of pulled from Foo Fighters and Dave Grohl, and I mean you can only be so unique, right?
Mm-hmm.
So their kind of philosophy is that to have like a good song, they should be able to play it on acoustic guitar and should sound really good.
Okay.
And
makes
so
sense. The bare bones of it still sounds really good.
yeah.
Think about some of their albums that make sense.
Yeah,
They have
exactly.
those dual.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the things that I really try to bring to my songs because,
Okay.
I mean, where am I going to be playing? It's going to be like coffee houses and at least right now, who knows? Who knows? Who's watching? But yeah, and I'm going to bring an acoustic guitar and play my stuff raw.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have a song that's really reliant on like loops or anything like that, I just feel like I don't like that for myself.
For you, yeah,
for
that's the
my
important
songs,
thing. Yeah.
and like I wanna be able to take my guitar in and just play and have a good song, you know.
Okay.
So I think that's staple number one, and then staple number two kind of comes down to the whole production thing. I like to be simple with my songs, and the minute I start like overcomplicating things, I kind of go down this rabbit hole of like, oh, like it could be this way, but then like, ooh, this puzzle piece doesn't fit, and like, I don't know. So like, I like to bring it back to basics and be simple, and remember that. I don't know if you've heard this phrase before, but it's like, don't bore us, get to the chorus.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it all kind of comes down to like the hook, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So keeping your song simple, like, you know, there's bands where that's like their staple is being complicated, and bands like Polyphia,
Yes.
or like Chon, where they're very, very melodic, very complicated.
Yeah.
And you know that's like their thing, but you know, for me, I'm not anywhere near that good. So like I'm like, what can I do to make a song good? And that's, you know, I feel like my strength is making something cool out of something simple. You know?
Yeah. Well, I don't agree that you're not good. I love those staples. That's great, man.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Incredible. Man, I wanted to ask a question. If you had one song that you feel like sums up who you are, what song would you pick?
Yeah.
You're like, this is me
Yeah.
in 3 minutes.
It's kind of almost an like indie-ish pick, but like, have you heard Walt Grace's Submarine Test by John Mayer?
Yes.
Man, like,
That's a great song.
yeah, it's such a great song, and like, I was watching him talk about that song, and you know, it was kind of one of his first songs where he didn't write like something personal. He kind of made up this like story, but the story is about like this guy who does something kind of out there, and like something that like kind of the average person wouldn't think about like achieving. Like,
Yeah.
he builds a submarine, or he does like this research to build a submarine, and builds a submarine, and then takes it for a ride, and like his wife and kids thought he was crazy, and you know his friends, you know, kind of thought it was crazy too.
Yeah.
And like, but like he went out and did it, and like, I just think there's been a lot of times in my life where there's like a big wave ahead of me, and I'm like, man, like that's just something like better people do, you know. And there's like a crazy thing that I feel like I just can't do. Like I'm not allowed to do it, and that's silly. Like,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like I grew up not being a very like handy guy. Like I don't like have my own like house projects or whatever. Like I've never like laid roofing or whatever. And so that was always kind of one of those things where it's like, I got to pay someone to do that. Or like I got to pay someone to fix the like electrical in my house or whatever. And just recently in building a studio,
yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm going to sink so much money. Like this is not even going to be funny. I have to do some of this myself.
Yeah.
And that was a big wave where I'm like,
can I
do this? Yeah, am I allowed to do this on my own house? And I'm like, that's crazy. Yes,
I can do this. Yeah.
Yeah. So hit the books, hit YouTube. My brother-in-law Tito has helped me with the electrical and like
Tito. Thank you.
Dog. And man, we went in there and we did it. Got all the electrical done.
Incredible, man. It looks great. Yeah.
Thank you.
It looks
Thank you
great.
very much. So yeah, I would have to say that.
Walt Grace.
Yeah.
Submarine test. Was it like 19?
January like 19 something.
67. I want to say 69. But I think it's 67.
Yeah.
It's far enough into the show. Yeah, we can touch it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. Let's see. We talked about some of the things that make a Caleb song, but what do you think are some pitfalls that you've learned with songwriting to avoid? Some advice that you would give. Someone goes, "I'm doing blah blah blah," and you're like, "Right, I wouldn't do that."
I think the biggest pitfall that people fall into, and I see this a ton of times. I mean, first thing is don't not believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are like, oh man, like, you know, I would like to be good, but I'm just not that good. And so like, why do it? And then they kill themselves.
Yeah.
You know, not.
We understand.
Yeah. They shoot themselves in the foot.
Yo.
That's a better term. Okay, sorry. Just like I just did. And
could you imagine a world where everything was like literal? You know, like Guardians of the Galaxy, where that guy's always.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Funny.
Or like the movie Invention of Lying.
Oh yeah. Ricky Gervais. Yeah, that's a funny one. Yeah. That didn't get as much love.
I know.
The concept was pretty funny though. Okay, sorry. We got it off.
Yeah. Okay. So like be confident in yourself. Like you have to say, I'm actually kind of good.
Yeah.
You know, I've had to say that like a ton where I wrote like a crappy song and I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I can write something better.
Yeah.
I think that's a big pitfall. But like kind of my main point is when you're writing, writer's block is a big illusion. Like I think writer's block is you just kind of like losing motivation and because I've had this so-called writer's block. And it's been where like I've tried a bunch of things and I just don't know where to go next, and I just want to go do something else for an hour or whatever.
Makes sense, yeah.
And the thing that I found, some of the songs that I think are some of my best are the ones where I've gotten like halfway through the song and I think I'm getting like this writer's block, and I just say, Nope, I'm not having writer's block right now. And so once you say no, then you kind of like change your mindset a little bit, just like subconsciously, and you basically just declare that you don't have writer's block, and you start thinking of new things, and it's always worked for me. I don't know if it'll work for everyone, to be honest, but you just have to try yourself.
Or they're different people. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. But like when you get that writer's block, like tell it no, man.
No.
And like see what else you got. If you gotta go take a break, take a break. But like, don't let writer's block shut you down. Yeah. I think that is like one of the biggest pitfalls in songwriting, and also that kind of leads people into writing less songs too, because I met a few writers in Nashville who are pretty successful out there. Like they have some hit songs. One of them had a hit song with Brad Paisley. So like
huge,
this guy kind of knew what he was talking
about. He's doing, yeah.
And I saw like his song catalog, and like this dude had like thousands of songs.
Really?
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have like 40.
Yeah.
And
these guys just cranking them out.
Yeah. And it's like there's no way that all of those are good.
There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
Either he's the greatest of all time.
Right.
Or there's probably a good portion of those that are not.
Yeah. Yeah. So like anytime someone asks me, you know, how do I start like songwriting or whatever, or how do I get better at songwriting? And my answer is write crappy songs.
Yeah. Just you're gonna write a bunch of bad.
Yeah. Like sit down and just write something dumb.
Yeah.
Or something that you think is, you know, just kind of silly or whatever. And then finish it. Like that's super important. Like you have to write a silly song and then finish it, and then like you say, oh wow, that's a song. Like I'm done.
Yeah.
And now you can go into the next song saying, I've completed a song before. I can do this for sure. And you can kind of compare like what you're doing to like what you didn't like about your song that you just wrote or whatever.
So many people I feel like once I release that's the end, and I can't write anything close to that. You're like, no man, you like, okay, maybe if you're like Gaga, sure, you like people can be like, that's basically the same song. But I mean, her first album was that anyways. You can tell me, can't read my eyes. You go, dude, going to take a ride on my disco. They're all the same song. You know what I mean? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, totally.
Just keep writing.
Yeah.
If you really like it as much as you think that you do, I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying, just go keep writing. That's fine. Yeah. Write another song that almost uses the exact same or the same chord progression. I don't care. Yeah. Release it and then go, this is a better version of that song. I'm going to scrap that one. Yeah. Take it offline. You don't have to. Like, just because, you know, we get so afraid. I completely agree.
Yep. We get afraid. And, I mean, songwriting is almost like a muscle. I mean, it sounds kind of cheesy, but like...
but I get what you're saying. You're totally right. Yeah, it's an art just like anything else. Yeah. You got to keep going.
Yeah.
You're totally right, man. We are working on some new stuff now, right?
Yes.
Love it. What do you think? So with the new studio, you're going to start coming in, like some collaborative efforts, or just like a full-on EP, LP, singles? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking LP. Okay. You know, I went through a period of my life. I think it was the fridge. I went through
that, or this episode's gonna get crazy in a second.
I went through a period of my life where I was, you know, just like this starving artist. I was out in Florida with no money, working at a frozen yogurt shop, making like minimum wage, and playing at, you know, this cabana bar like 3 nights a week. And wait, where was I going with this?
Starving artist. Yeah. We were going before that though was LP.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I know.
I can keep us on track. I'm trying. At least I'm getting better at being a host.
And anyway, so there's this time where like I was just like, man, like music is just my job, and like I kind of hate it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna do music, and like I'm gonna get a job and like try and make some money, and then just because like, you know, when you do something over, it's like banging your head against a wall. Like when you do something over and over and it's just getting you nowhere and you're not happy doing it, like it's time to quit. And like it was because there's this like pressure, because I kind of grew up telling myself like the only thing I was good at was playing music. And so if I failed at that, like I was nothing. So like when I was just playing, you know, at this, you know, low key bar, and getting paid like maybe $75 a night, just not really going anywhere, you know, you kind of think that you failed. And so that's when I was like, I gotta do something else. And so I kind of, when I started getting back into music, I started playing at church again. I was like, you know what, I'm never gonna play music again unless I just want to. Like, I don't want to play music because I'm getting a paycheck. Like it has to be fun and it has to be something that I believe in.
Yeah.
You know? So, anyways, to kind of bring that back to new stuff, I've been writing songs over the years, and I just never really had like a space to record in, and I didn't want to invest a bunch of money in going into a studio, which nothing against anybody that would do that, yeah. But like that would have kind of put a bunch of pressure on me to like make this marketable and would have been pressure to sell it. Yeah. And I was like, I just want to have fun doing this.
That's a great way to be. Man.
Yeah.
That's what it should be about.
Yeah. And I got to this point where I'm like, all right, I'm going to make an album and like, I don't care if nobody listens. Mm-hmm. As long as like maybe my mom or dad listens to it, like I'll be good. And man, that like frees you up to just do anything.
Yeah.
Cause like,
it's a good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have like a record label to, report to or like a producer to pass things off to, or any like stakeholders to really make sure I'm on track. So it's all just like me feeling like doing an album, and that's what I want to do.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So once the studio's done, it'll be open for other people too to come record.
That's great, man.
I want to make it a space where like you can come record.
That'll be fun. I would love that. Seriously.
Yeah.
We still got. We've been working on that song. I love that song. It's cool.
Yeah. Yes. Oh man.
It's good
song. Good song. Can we say the title of it?
Yes.
Should we say
man.
it?
Yeah. Let's say it now, man. Yeah. This is a Music Theory Philosophy exclusive.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So there's the story of it is there's one night where I was just having some whiskey, and I was like, man, like I don't know why, but like I feel like just sending this to Dean.
Yes.
Or whatever. So I think I took like a video or something of me.
Yes,
like,
you did. Yeah.
Taking a little drink.
Yeah. At work. Yeah.
Yeah. I sent it to you, and you were like, man, I got some whiskey at home waiting on me, man. And I was like, oh my gosh, is that a song?
Done. It is now.
Yeah. And so we wrote a song called Whiskey Waiting on Me.
Yes. I'm excited, man.
Yeah,
it's going to be great. It's coming soon. I'm not going to give a time frame because you never. It's always like this thing happens. It's coming out next week, and then 3 months later. Okay, so obviously stuff happened behind it.
Yeah.
I'm super excited though. It's been so much fun.
Yeah.
I've talked to some loved and close ones and people that I've talked about, and how much of a blast it's been writing and collabing. You were such a good collaborator, and everything's been really fun. Yeah, I love it, man. Okay, you have been a great guest. Thank you so much for having me in and letting me have some of your amazing Green Spot whiskey.
Oh yeah.
When you're thirsty,
have a Green Spot.
Green Spot.
Yes. I finished mine already, actually. Oh no, there's a drop in there.
Good to the last drop. Okay, we're gonna play a quick game real quick, and then we'll go on our way. Stay tuned to the next video. Should be Caleb playing, or it'll be the video before it. In which case, you'll be like, "Holy crap, this guy's amazing." Okay. Okay. I saw this game the other day. It's a. We're gonna have to move stuff around just a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you how to do it. And I'm gonna stack them like this. I'm gonna start a timer on this right here. Let's see. I gotta fix this. Right. I'll start a timer on this one, and you'll see how long it's gonna take. It will probably. I'm gonna stack them up. Here we go. Okay. On your mark, get set.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh my gosh. Wow.
I cheated a little bit. That's okay.
Okay. And then you gotta take them out. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
All right. Time.
Right.
That's harder than I thought it was gonna be. Okay.
Wow.
What? Okay. We'll see who has better lung capacity.
All right.
Here we go.
All those years in the.
All those years of training.
Of training for this day. Wow. Can I even blow this up? Hang on. Let me just make sure I can blow up the balloon first.
There we go.
Okay. We're ready.
All right. On your mark. Get set. Go.
Oh my gosh.
Ladies and gentlemen, he can do it. You can go
ahead. Is that legal?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay.
He's got it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we lost it again. One more. Good. Now take them out. You pick it up.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Good save. Good save.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Lost
no.
it.
Last one. And time. All right. I think you won.
Mine, no.
No, you
There's no way that I won that. I lost the balloon multiple times.
No, that's okay though. These things are slippery.
Oh,
All right,
my
dude.
head.
Thanks so much for being on the show today. You're incredible, Caleb Frieze. Follow him. I'm gonna have all the links posted below. Love you guys. Thanks for being on the show, man.
Love you guys.
You have a good night.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody. Goodbye. 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 Sweet.
Dude, that was fun, man.
Yes, and it ended right there. I was like, oh, the video's about to die.
Oh, the camera?
Yeah, the camera's.
Oh, man.
We made it.